All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're going to open the playbook on your body's most incredible, lightning-fast defense force, the innate immune system. I mean, this is the team that's on the scene in minutes, ready to go, long before you even have a clue you're under attack.
You know what I'm talking about, right? We've all been there. That tiny little slice on your finger, and suddenly it's this miniature, angry war zone. But here's the wild part. That whole reaction isn't really the germs doing their thing. Nope, it's the signal flare. It's proof that your body's elite first responders have hit the scene, and the battle is already underway.
Okay, so to really get this, you got to understand that your immune system is split into two main teams. You've got the adaptive system, think of them as the slow, strategic, special ops. They learn the enemy's face, they create a super specific plan, and they remember that bad guy forever. But we're not talking about them today. We are all in on the innate system, the fast and furious crew, the first responders who just kick down the door with immediate, overwhelming blunt force. So way before any alarm bells even have a chance to ring, you should really think of your body as this incredible fortress. It is protected by all these different physical and chemical walls, and they all have one simple job: keep invaders out.
And check this out, it's not just one wall, it's layers of defense. Of course, you've got your skin, but you've also got sticky mucus in your lungs trapping stuff, harsh stomach acid that just dissolves invaders, and even these amazing little protein weapons called defensins, which literally go around punching holes in bacteria. How cool is that? And maybe one of the most important parts of the fortress? The trillions of good bacteria already living in and on you, basically taking up all the real estate so the bad guys can't even find a place to move in.
Look, no fortress is perfect. Breaches are gonna happen. A cut, breathing in a virus, something you ate, something eventually gets past those outer walls. And that is when the real show begins.
So, an enemy is inside the gates. Now what? The first and maybe most critical challenge is telling friend from foe. How does your body know instantly that it's dealing with something hostile? Well, here's the genius of it. Your immune cells aren't trying to memorize the face of every single pathogen out there. That'd be impossible. Instead, they look for PAMPs. You can just think of these as the enemy's uniform. It's like security at a bank looking for anyone wearing a ski mask. It doesn't really matter who's under it. The uniform itself is the dead giveaway, the red flag. It's stuff our own cells just don't have. And of course, that brings us to the other half of this puzzle. If the microbes have uniforms, your cells need scanners, right? Well, they've got them. They're called pattern recognition receptors, and they are these high-tech sensors just perfectly designed to spot those enemy uniforms. Every one of your body's little guard cells is covered in them, and they're constantly on patrol.
Okay, so the second one of those scanners gets a hit, it spots an enemy uniform. It's not enough to just quietly take a note. No way. It has to trigger a massive, body-wide alarm to get everyone moving.
And this all happens in this beautiful lightning-fast chain reaction. A scanner detects the uniform, bam! An emergency signal gets sent straight to the cell's command center. The command center immediately flips the switch on a bunch of emergency genes, and the result? The cell just starts pumping out a flood of these alarm molecules. These are basically biochemical cries for help that scream, hey, we are under attack, right here, right now. And those cries for help, they have a name: cytokines. The best way to think about them is as the body's emergency broadcast system. They are the molecules spreading the word, telling your blood vessels what to do, calling in reinforcements from all over the body, and even telling your brain it's time to turn up the heat. They are the conductors of this whole chaotic symphony we call inflammation. Which brings us right to the main event, the part that you can actually see and feel. It looks and feels like chaos, but this thing we call inflammation is incredibly coordinated. Every single symptom has a very specific, strategic purpose. This breakdown is just fantastic because it shows that everything you feel is by design. You know that redness and heat around a cut? That's your blood vessels widening on purpose, creating an express lane for immune cells to get to the fight. The swelling? Those same vessels become leaky, again, on purpose, letting all those warrior cells and fluids flood the area. And the pain? It's a feature, not a bug. It's your body's way of yelling, hey you, protect this spot while we handle business. And that right there is the key. This is not a precise surgical strike. It's blunt force. The strategy is simple. Overwhelm the invaders with a flood of cells and chemicals and do it as fast as you possibly can. Yeah, it might cause a little collateral damage, but the goal is to win, and win now. Have you ever wondered why you feel so completely wiped out when you have the flu? Well, this explains it perfectly. Sure, some of what you feel is the virus itself causing damage, but a huge part of feeling so sick is the absolutely massive amount of energy your body is using to fuel this immune war. And remember those cytokine alarm bells? They're the things that directly cause the fever and the body aches. A lot of the time, you feel bad because your defense system is working so incredibly hard for you.
Now, that initial alarm at the site of the attack doesn't just happen in a vacuum. It acts as this powerful beacon, a call to arms that goes out to reinforcements that are waiting in other parts of your body.
But how in the world do those reinforcements know where to go? It's a big body after all. Well, the system is so elegant. They follow things called chemokines. These are a special kind of cytokine that basically leaves a chemical breadcrumb trail, a scent that gets stronger and stronger the closer you get to the infection. It's literally a biological GPS for your immune cells.
And who answers that call first? It's often the neutrophils. They're the fearless infantry of your immune system. They just pour out of your bone marrow, jump into the bloodstream highway, lock onto that chemokine GPS signal, and then just swarm the site of infection in huge numbers, ready to find and destroy any bad guys they see. Just stop and think about that for a second. This entire dramatic saga, from the fortress walls to the enemy uniforms, the alarm signals, the troop recruitment, all of this is happening inside you constantly. Most of the time, this entire war is fought and won before you even have a chance to notice a single thing. It's just an incredible automatic shield.
And this really shows that the innate response has two critical jobs. Job 1 is simple: win the battle and win it fast. But job 2 is just as important: know when you're outmatched. If the fight is too tough, the signals sent out by these first responders are the very thing that wakes up and activates that special ops team, the adaptive immune system, to come in and finish the job for good.
So this system, it's designed for these short, intense bursts of blunt force. It is absolutely life-saving. But its raw power is also its potential weakness. And that raises a really critical question. What happens when this incredibly powerful inflammatory alarm gets stuck in the on position? What happens when the war just never ends?